Onto this now. China is ready, but South Africa not so much. That's according to Chinese ambassador to the country, Lin Songtian. He says the world's second largest economy is eager to invest further in South Africa, but is cautious because of the stagnant economy. Well, Chinese investors have been investing heavily in Africa over the last 10 years, but South Africa has not been a beneficiary. Peter Fabricius from the Institute for Security Studies has been looking at the ambassador's comments, and he joins us now via Skype here in Johannesburg. Mr. Fabricius, thank you very much for your time. In your piece, you speak about blunt truths about investments in South Africa. What's the Chinese ambassador been saying?
Yeah, you know, he's a guy who, as I said in that piece, he's very complimentary about South Africa for the most part. And of course, South Africa and China are quite strong allies. But he does manage to get in some quite, blunt truths inside that pleasant packaging. And the truths are really basically saying that South Africa needs to jack up its infrastructure and especially its SOEs, its state-owned enterprises, if it wants to really attract kind of Chinese and really, I think by implication, any serious investment. So, you know, there's been an issue about Eskom. We all, I think, followed that earlier this year. The first tranche of it was supposed to be a 2.5 billion US dollar loan that they promised, the China Development Bank promised to South Africa, was delayed because of concerns that it wasn't going to be used for the purpose for which it was intended. That is for infrastructure, capital expenditure in Eskom, and not just paying off the debt kind of thing. Now that seems to have been released, and but Eskom has still been quite cagey about the further tranche payments. They say they're on schedule, but they won't say when and how much. And so he's in a way, I suppose you could say that the Chinese ambassador is delivering a message which other people have delivered, but it's quite unusual for an ambassador to deliver a message that is so direct.
Yeah,
they wrap everything in very, very, very diplomatic language.
Well, let's stick with Eskom for a moment, because you've bitten me to it, but I still want to explore his comments around Eskom specifically. In August, he said that Eskom was, quote unquote, a debt trap.
Yeah.
What does that signal?
Yeah, look, that was signaling in a way that they're not prepared to just pour good money after bad, that they're not just prepared to pump billions of dollars into Eskom. And Eskom comes up with a cogent plan for how they're going to become solvent. Well, they're not insolvent, but how they're going to get out of their debt, which we all know is like 450 billion rand at the last count. And so it's good that somebody is speaking straight to Eskom. We had an incident earlier this year where some of the other Western ambassadors and so on very politely pointed out some of the obstacles to investment, and it caused a huge big stink. I don't know if you remember it. There was a whole row, and it was on the front page of the Sunday Times about the South African government really offended about these ambassadors not using the correct channels. So here the Chinese ambassador, without bothering too much, I think, about channels, just speaks to Reuters, speaks to me, speaks to whoever, and is quite direct.
Very interesting indeed. The final question I want to put to you, Peter Fabricius, is about his complimentary comments about President Cyril Ramaphosa's leadership. Does the world's second largest economy believe that he can truly turn things around? At some point, I think the very same ambassador was quoted as saying he possibly is the last hope for our country.
Yeah, I think you could regard that as one of those kind of slightly backhanded compliments I was talking about, because what he's saying in a way, yes, he's praising Ramaphosa, but he's also saying that this is the last hope. If he can't get it right, then we're in deep trouble. So I don't think he's necessarily backing Ramaphosa more than anyone else who's a bit uncertain about whether he can beat off all the sort of old Zumarites and Magashule people in the ANC. But he's basically saying what I think a lot of us suspect, that this is our last shot,
All right, thank you very much for those insights. That was Institute for Security Studies consultant Peter Fabricius. To this now.